We right away start with our next session, and for that, we have got with us another eminent speaker, Dr. Naresh Harale, co founder and COO, Secure Wires Technology and Solutions. This session will be chaired by Dr. Kavita Khatse, Madam, Senior Academician and PhD Research Guide, CRKIMR. I am privileged to again introduce both the eminent people who will be there for the next session. May I now request both Madam and Sir to kindly grace the dais. Before we proceed with the next program, I take this opportunity to introduce Dr. Naresh Harale. At the State Bank of India, he is Senior Vice President and Head of the Information Security Department. Sir's expertise is focused on fortifying digital assets and enhancing the resilience of critical infrastructures. His previous tenure at Ribbit as vertical head and CISO showcased a commitment to safeguarding the Reserve Bank of India's digital infrastructure. Across roles, Sir's contributions have anchored on fostering innovation in risk management while balancing enterprise resilience with strategic outcomes. Sir will be welcomed and felicitated by Dr. Kavita Khatse, Madam, and let me first introduce her. It's a pleasure to introduce Dr. Kavita Khatse, Madam, a senior academician and a researcher in data analytics and IT with over 27 years of experience, an approved PhD guide under University of Mumbai. Ma'am has published 50 research papers in reputed indexed journals. Ma'am's expertise spans artificial intelligence, fintech, blockchain, and digital marketing. Ma'am also conducts corporate training programs and serves as editor and reviewer for international journals. We warmly welcome both of them. May I now request Kavita Madam to kindly welcome Sir Dr. Naresh Harale with a floral tribute. Without wasting much more time, I would like to request Dr. Naresh Harale to kindly give his speech and presentation on AI bias in data protection, privacy, and citizen rights. And I request Madam Kavita Khatse to kindly be the chairperson for this session. Over to you, sir.
Perfect. Just try once. Bottom. It's PDF. Wow. Wow. Okay. Perfect.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm sure everyone is in mode of lunchtime. I'm standing in between you and your lunch. Okay, so I'll just try to catch up at the earliest. I need your 20 minutes time. We'll try to complete the session in 20 minutes. And we'll touch base all these three aspects which mentioned in the topic. Right. So when it comes to AI, so you have seen the journey. So a lot of discussion happened since morning. You understood the basic purpose of the digital marginalizations and the AI bias. You understood the concepts. Now slowly we'll move towards how to protect, how to balance the AI systems and related privacy matters. So we are going to cover, these are the points, we'll just touch base. The bias problem in AI system, data protection and privacy risk, citizen rights under threat, global regulatory landscape, audit and accountability, frameworks, recommendation and way forward. Right. So clearly it is defined, I think, so AI bias is, it happens at multiple levels. So garbage in, garbage out is the standard word, standard terminology we follow in the AI systems. AI is fastly moving technology, and you can say it's a different vertical altogether. So far, we used to talk about digital transformation, digital landscape, but it is beyond that. It is approaching very fast. Right? Last 2 years, we have seen the journey of Gen AI, but now we are in the era of agentic AI. Make sense? It is very, very difficult to understand how this AI journey is approaching towards us and whether we are prepared for it or not. It's a question mark. Whether irrespective of is a technology student or a management student, or for that matter, engineering students, it's very, very difficult to predict what is going to happen in next couple of years. Make sense? So understanding this, the first is at the data bias. So garbage in, garbage out. So a lot of inputs, specific to the data. If you're not fitting the right data for the training models, obviously your model will generate the incorrect output, right? Second is algorithmic bias, very simple. Algorithms are designed, they're using certain logics to generate the outputs, right? In order to generate the outputs, we use multiple parameters, right? Weighting happens in the internal parameters. If you imbalance, who is the AI designer who is defining some weightage to some parameter? If these parameters are not properly given, then obviously your entire outcome will not be the accurate as expected. That is algorithmic bias. Deployment bias, so definitely we train the model on some training data, maybe marginally right, wrong. So based on that, we prepare some design structure and we deploy the system. So there will be a differences between your training data and the actual data. So that is what the deployment bias is that we need to look at. So making sure that AI bias in data protection. So when we think about data, so entire journey, if you look at the cyber security, of course you have seen cyber security and the cyber resilience. So entire ballgame is around the data. We want to protect our data. So everyone, whether irrespective of the businessman or the enterprises, they want to protect their data. So they want to protect their crown jewels, right? So cyber security is all about protecting the data with the help of multiple layers. We have multiple layers like system security. You have just seen that, our commander has already explained the architecture. System security, your perimeter security, application, API security, and so on. And the governance around is very, very crucial. So data collection is one aspect, algorithmic transparency, user consent, and regular audit. So these are some of the parameters which will definitely help us, avoiding the data bias in the data protection, and we can improve the data protection aspect of it. So let's talk a little bit about, the various legal and regulatory frameworks which definitely help you to ensure the protection of your data, your privacy, and the digital citizen rights. Right? It is already practiced across EU section. Recently we have seen that India also got the DPDP Act. Right? So the purpose of this regulatory, compliance is to mandate certain requirements, security controls, privacy controls to meet the requirement or safeguard the requirements of the citizens and the systems. The first is the legal compliance part. So adhering to GDPR, ensure reduced risk of hefty fines. If you look at the hefty fines in the sense, it's a huge amount of money. If the organizations don't follow, whether they're using AI or not AI, if they don't follow the guidelines of GDPR, this typically focusing on the data protection, privacy, then there is a fine. what is how much fine? Almost 20 million pound, which is a huge, or 4% of their global annual, you know, revenue. It's a huge amount of fine. And again, this number will vary depending upon the kind of, issues. Make sense? So consumer trust is another area. Implementing strong data practices build long-term customer confidence. Very general, but very important. Risk mitigation, market differentiator, and operational efficiency. So data minimization is one of the important principle of GDPR and the data privacy. We have to collect only required data parameters. I cannot just float the form and capture 20 parameters or 30 parameters. You have to clearly mention the purpose of data collection. Perfect. So when AI decides without explanation, it means AI is designed to take some decisions. So AI system is designed based on certain algorithms. The models are trained based on certain training data, right? And if they're generating the outcome and they're not giving any explanation, it's a question mark. This is one of the problems. When AI watches everyone but misidentifies some far more than others is another problem. It is trained, data is trained. Your system is very, very accurately trained, maybe a 91. There is one example, there is a risk point. If you look at, the system was designed with 95% of accuracy, but that failed to identify the face of the problem, right? So these are some of the GDPR principles engaged to in the interest of data privacy, right? The issue is clearly mentioned here. So AI trained or fed on far more data than it needs or used for purposes citizens never agreed to. So it means we just talk minimization principle of the GDPR, right? AI can reconstruct personal identity from data that appears anonymous. Now we are talking about the primary data points, but when we are collecting the data and we are rebuilding the identities based on certain description, it will be difficult, right? So my first question to all of you is that, so AI bias is a what kind of problem you pursue? What is the kind of problem we are talking about? This is one of the term we are using in the conference title. Is it a problem with designer? Is it a problem of technology? It is a problem of other aspects. Any answers? Okay. So AI bias is basically a systemic problem. You cannot just putting a control, you cannot solve it. You have to build the proper governance around this AI system so that you can check what is going inside the AI system, what is coming out of the AI system. So you can definitely avoid with the continuous audit, continuous monitoring, definitely you can handle this problem. Okay. Right. So in the interest of time, so some of the bias cases I think is already available. So I will skip this slide, right? So one of the Amazon algorithm, hiring algorithm, penalize resumes containing the words humans. One more problem I'll tell you. If somebody, we use a lot of chat GPT and Cloud AI and other Gen AI solutions. If you give the input to generate a presentation for CEO, what happens? What will be the output of this particular statements if you give to Cloud AI? What happens? What kind of images you see? You mostly see the white peoples. You mostly see the photos of white peoples coming on the screen. It is a discrimination, right? There are so many people around us, but still your system is biased, which is generating a data which is more focused on the whites. Right? This is one simple example. I'm just trying to clarify. So GDPR requirements for AI systems. GDPR is an international regulation. Similarly, DPDP has almost, extracted a lot of contents from the GDPR. It follows the Article 5, Article 9, Article 13, 14, Article 22, Article 25, and Article 35. So all these definitely, focusing on, handling the bias, AI bias in the interest of data security, data protection, data privacy, and so on. Okay. So when AI bias becomes a rights violation, right to equality, right to privacy, right to due process, I just would like to explain one point in this right to privacy. So lot of AI systems are collecting personal data. Now nothing is personal, right? Whatever we do you think that it is available only with you? Whatever you think that today your personal data, whatever communication you are doing, it is only private to you. I don't think so. Almost every aspect, because when we download any mobile application or any communication tool, mostly we accept all the terms and conditions. It means if something is free given to you, it means that you are the product. Your data collected is definitely will be, processed, collected, processed, and used and misused, reuse. There are different ways they, handle your data, private data. So mostly our data is not in our control, and that's where DPDP Act, your legal frameworks definitely give some power to the common man, right? So that you can file a case against the people, you can go to the court, you can file a case against, companies, right? Because the right to audit, right to privacy, right to collect, so all these terminologies absolutely linked with the privacy. Whenever we go to mall, I mean, just another simple example. When we go to mall, so mostly people collect your information. If X organization is collecting your information, they have to make sure that that data is not used for other purposes. So there is a penalty because of DPDP or because of GDPR kind of regulations. So the common man, so that will definitely help to protect your rights, citizen rights. Okay, so I think in the morning sessions or the key speaker already talk about the EU Act and so on. So I will not touch, but these are the various standards normally followed in the industry. So the primarily EU Act has come in 2024. DPDP is just recently. So you'll find all these interlinked. If you want to do a business with any European countries, we should mandatory follow this compliance requirement. So governance measures. So where governance start? So typically there are a couple of points I want to again emphasize. When you want to implement the AI framework in your organizations, maybe not applicable directly for the academics. You take an example of bank. So bank have already started using the AI systems. They have slowly started using the agentic AI also. So beauty is that they are definitely automating a lot of activities. They are reducing the manpower. Same time they are creating a new jobs, but there are certain risk areas which needs to be addressed. So what is the primary issue? There is completely a shadow AI happening in the organizations. Just like a IT, shadow IT, there is a shadow AI. It means business is using AI tools and technology to fulfill the business requirement. But it is hardly, IT or security is keeping a pace with it. It means that if Gen AI is used, for example, we have a browser, suddenly one day we come to know that there is a AI mode enabled in the browser. We don't know what is going to happen with that. You are sitting inside the enterprise, you are using the same browser, the browser has come out with the AI mode, and you are able to upload a lot of data there, which was earlier restricted with the internet proxy or internet security controls. Till the time we identify the problem, Till the time enterprises look into the problems, lot of data has already gone out of your hand. Right? So we are currently in the reactive mode. So it's a time to move from reactive to proactive or preventive kind of technologies we have to start using, so that consent management, automations can be handled very well. One more problem with the AI systems beyond AI bars, in the normal ecosystem of IT, every person, every entity is authenticated. Make sense? Every entity, every system is authenticated, every user is authenticated. Based on their roles and responsibilities, access is given. Authenticity, they're supposed to do certain tasks. It is a role-based access is given. But because of agentic AI, agents are created dynamically. Now, how you will control the agents? This is a piece of software. It is generated for some purpose. It may be alive for 1 second, 1 millisecond, not like people. So how to deal with the identity and access management part of it is a very sensitive area, and it is again evolving. That's where I said in the initial remark, it is very difficult how AI is going to impact to us. We don't know. Some data points. So almost 80% of incidents involves bias. Sorry. Yeah, 80% of incidents involve bias or fairness issues. This is just a number, it's a whole data, but this number is also increasing. But now slowly people, the awareness part, literacy part, that's where, we are driving the AI literacy. Government is doing a lot of efforts to make sure that each and every person of this country, citizen of the country is, handling, accessing the kind of technology which is available for them. The only people sitting in the tier 1, tier 2 cities, they are accessing the technology, digital, tools and technology. Then how we can, give it to the last person of this country? Make sense? Yeah. So one more point you should look at, the $35 million is the maximum GDPR fine for all AI non-compliances. I'm just talking about AI. So this number is growing. And that's where the EU has already brought in the act, India has already brought in the act, and there is completely 250 crore of fine if they don't follow the data privacy, data protection, and security aspect of the private information. Then fine will be applicable. So we talk about this. These are some of the legislations. One is GDPR, CCPA, HIPAA, FCRA. These are some of the legal frameworks for data protections. Right? So how to make a comprehensive, safe and secure systems, and how we can use the AI systems, agentic AI system in a safe manner. So governance is very important. To build the policy framework, we have to involve every person, every type of person as a part of process, right? One is the national, global, industry. These are the various aspects we have to, get brought together, bring together to, work on it. It's long list. So we need data analyst, policy makers, legal, because it's a legal matter. It is not just a technology matter. It is a legal matter. So we have to involve legal people. Right? Assessing, expanding. So this is a simple approach you need to follow. Analyze existing data, whatever data your AI system is using for decision making, you have to see that data is assessed before using it. Accuracy of the data is to be checked. Expand, broaden data sourcing to include underrepresented demographic groups, so that people will not be discriminated, right? So that's where we have to protect in the interest of citizen rights. Test it before actually putting it into the productions. You have to evaluate those models for the accuracy, and then it's an iterative process. It is a reinforcement learning kind of approach needs to be taken, so that your models will work absolutely, generate the accurate and the accurate results. So this is just a roadmap. If you look at where we are, so last year we talk about, last couple of years we're talking about adoption of AI systems. We talk about awareness. In 25, we started about the DPDP Act, that is the legislation part of it. Now, this year, typically 2026, we have started adopting technologies. So that's where the evolution of agentic platforms coming up, and we have, the enterprises have started utilizing it. 27 may be a more around ethics. 28 is more around compliances, because compliance framework has already come, but adoption will take some time. So next 2 to 3 years will be a kind of span we need to look at to make it compliant. Then 29, public trust. Maybe the last person of this country will trust in the AI systems, right? And collaboration. So that's a kind of holistic roadmap and a plan for data privacy and data protection. Okay. Uh, more slides. Lunchtime. I just want to ensure that, yeah. Perfect. I have come to the last slide of this session. And this, I ends with my slide deck. AI bias is not a bug to be fixed. It is a systemic challenge to human rights. What we need to do in the morning, we talk about it, responsible AI, proactive governance, not reactive compliance, the convergence of bias, privacy, and digital rights demands that technologists, policymakers, and civil societies act together, because it's not a normal technological problem. So we have to bring a multiple type of problems, people to work on the framework and enforce the governance model. We have to educate our people through the literacy programs and so on. That will help us to build the safe and secure AI ecosystems without bias, or with minimum bias. Thank you so much.
Hello. N- May I now request Kavita Khatse ma'am to kindly round up the session.
On the behalf of Chetna Institutes, I extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Naresh Harale for his insightful session on AI bias and in data protection and citizens' right. His thought provoking deliberation highlighted the ethical dimensions of artificial intelligence and underscored the importance of fairness, accountability, and responsible data governance in safeguarding the citizens' rights. Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful insights on throwing light and focus on AI bias as well as data security, data governance, data compliance, and various laws for having data security. Thank you once again, and thank you all of you.
Now it's time to round up the session, and may I now call upon Dr. Reddy sir to kindly come and felicitate our Madam Kavita Khatse madam with a floral tribute. Floral tribute. Thank you, sir. I take this opportunity to call upon Dr. Shamali Sontakke madam to kindly come and present a memento to our guest speaker, Dr. Naresh Harale, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I take this opportunity to thank both our Kavita Khatse ma'am for being the chairperson and Dr. Naresh Harale sir for such an highly interesting topic which has not only educated us, but we have come to know that AI can really be AI bias is not a bug to be fixed. It is a systemic challenge to human beings, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you being for with us for today. Thank you. I hand over the mic to our Vice Principal, Madam Naomi Fonseca.